What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar. I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big. Jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes.
Good evening, everybody, and here we are finally at the end of this spring season of the ECAC Overwatch tournament, and we've got Savannah College of Art and Design going up against Bay State, and to bring you that, it's myself, Big Hungry Phil, and the effervescent LaFon. LaFon, what's on the cards for today? How's this match going to work?
Well, that's the first time I've been described as effervescent, as anyone who knows me is going to admit. But what we do have is a tournament arc that's culminating with our protagonist, Bay State College, versus Savannah College of Art and Design. No, I will not apologize for calling this a tournament arc. Phil, it's going to be a good one, I think.
It is, and I think, honestly, you're kind of on the money here with calling them the protagonist of this particular tournament arc, because Bay State are on a little bit of a hot streak. They're coming fresh off the heels of winning the Boston Uprising-sponsored Collegiate Clash. That was yesterday, and, you know, they've been putting up numbers in Tier 2 and Collegiate tournaments over the past 6 months. Like, really, really a team to watch.
They are. I think, you know, once we pan over to Savannah College, though, this is not a team that is one to go down easily either, though. It quietly has been one of the more competitive squads in Collegiate over this last season. So one time I was talking to a coach and described them as sneakily good.
Yes.
Was the descriptor I was given for this team. And I have to agree, having watched them, you know, not only perform, but also grow as a squad over the last couple months or so.
Yeah, they've always been one of the, certainly within ECAC, like a top competitor, one of the teams to beat. If you look at their performance in some of the bigger tournaments, they weren't able to make it all the way to the finals like I was hoping for in the Overwatch Collegiate Championships. They did in fact end at the same level as Bay State in the grand fight, in the grand overall standings for that particular tournament. So we know this is a team that is, at the very least, in the same weight class as Bay State. Exactly where those counters and cross counters are going to land, I think, is still a little bit up in the air. But we do have some previous footage of these two teams. This is not the first time the two of them have played within the ECAC tournament, Lafon.
It really isn't. I mean, the one thing to highlight here is I think Bay State comes in as the favorite for sure.
Yes.
Even as you said, they are about the same level in terms of score lines elsewhere. In general, you have to give the edge to Bay State for just their consistent performance over the time in collegiate and their, placements overall. That being said, we are underway on Lijiang Tower Garden. And it's going to be Rush versus Dive here. There's the zombie brawl from Bay State here in play.
Yeah, slightly interesting that we see them meet in this way with wildly different tank lines but very similar supports. And Faded takes a lot of damage, has to get out of there, leaps away and only has the health back there. And that leaves his team without the main tank to compete with. And Lilith is able to chunk through with these Hellfire shotguns. SCAD make the rotation into the back line, and they catch Faded on their re-entry into the team here. This is a great position for SCAD to be in. Abs down here as well. Compressors are going to get one of the back end of this fight, but I think that's all they're going to get here. And Skiz is powering forward for SCAD, looking for a last-second kill. SCAD with the early unlock.
They are going to have the Earthshatter available too, and if Infernal gets demech, there's going to be a real issue there, but it's going to be the reset, just a temporary disengage as Skiz goes for an aggressive shatter, doesn't actually get any eliminations off the back of it.
No, we do have the self-destruct coming in over the top, but it needs to come up big. Doesn't find anything, a little bit high, a little bit wide, and Lilith is down here as well. Care of the skill orb from Abs. Over the side goes Skiz, and that's got to be the reset here for SCAD. No main tank, a lot of your punching power off the table. No Lucio, you play for what you can get, and Bay State come back in with a very quick recap.
See a quick admission of fault there from Skiz. As a lot of players going off the side of the map, actually. It's the call of the void beckons to our players, it seems, Phil, and that's going to mean that Bay State have to commit a lot more.
Okay, and invested they are. EMP hits 4. We're struggling to find kills here for Bay State, though. SCAD looking pretty healthy. They've not even had to commit the sound barrier here to stay in a big way. I don't quite know what's going on here in this particular matchup, but we are seeing SCAD come back into possession of the point, Lafon.
Oh man, it's going to mean that Depressor can switch over to the Echo here. Yeah, that rhymed a little bit. And try and just play for a little bit more aerial threat. The sticky bombs, obviously, the focus beam. Cave on the flank, looking for that Death Blossom. Lilith might click the go button first, though.
Okay, Sandbarrier out from Cabimus, but that's not going to protect you from environmental kills. Very little counterplay for being flung bodily into a pit, and as Lilith soars by and is taken out of the air, we see a momentary advantage here for Bay State, who let rip with a Death Blossom of their own. Down goes Skiz, Faded gets in on the action here as well. We'll see the self-destruct come through, not going to find too much. Snuppy, all the way from Finland, will find a pick here, and SCAD continue to find kills even as Snuppy goes down. Looking to see them hold on to the point for now. A little bit of progress towards getting the cap coming back from Bay State, but they are staring at the barrel of last fight territory, Lafon.
Yeah, I mean, Bay State need to keep the objective in their control, not only to obviously deny the point capture, but to build their own. It's not looking good, though, as they lose 2 here, and it continues to fall from bad to worse.
Yeah, Cave back in to try and keep this alive on the Tracer, but they just don't have the stopping power they need. They don't have the HP they need. They will find a frag here. This is going to go down, but Faded gets traded out, and there's only so long you can survive under the heavy focus of a Hellfire shotgun when you've only got 150 HP.
That's going to be now down to the last 10% of the round, so there is a contest available here for Bay State, but man, they're working with nothing. There's the Deadeye from Alone in the back.
Well, leaves Infernal stranded for now. Actually see the DPS make the rotation onto the left-hand side. But now the rest of the team has to navigate through that self-destruct. And they're just not able to get their way through it. The remake finds Neb. Bay State staring at the barrel here of losing point A here on Lijiang Tower.
Well, what about that? Savannah College of Art and Design came to play indeed, and their rush composition looked pretty magnificent here in round number 1 as we got set, arguably the weakest point for Rush as well, Phil. And I mean, from here on to the rest of Lijiang Tower, you got to say that Savannah College all of a sudden looked to be perhaps the primary driver in this particular map as we're going to get over to Control Center. So a little bit more where Rush tends to be favored. Savannah College already having the lead in there, and all of a sudden the calculus of the match changes tremendously.
It does, and both teams coming up with slightly different solutions for this particular equation, in that we do seem to... Okay, now, at the last second, we get some erasing, and the correct variables substituted in, and this will be the mirror matchup across the board here as we move on to Control Center. Both teams up into the white area here. Early dive in from Infernal. Momentarily forces Skiz back, make the rotation onto the low ground, but FaZe is able to keep step and sidestep to match Faded on the way through. That's going to allow SCAD to pick up the early position onto the point here. And Bay State going to wait for this point to unlock before they aggress in a serious way, hoping for some frags on the way in. And so far, everybody playing nice and slowly, LaFon.
Alone, the only one looking to try to take some aggression, and it's going to pay off in spades, as Neb is going to be the one eliminated first. Immortality Field also denied, but the health pools of Bay State are sorely lacking.
Yeah, just chase out of that Immortality Field. And Bay State have a couple of players left, sort of close to the fight, but I don't think they want to get too much more invested in this. And SCAD coming out of this with ultimates to spare.
Keep an eye out on Lilith here with the Photon Barrier. They may not need it, actually, as there's the Ant Matrix instead.
Okay.
Oh,
that's, I'm not quite sure what happened on that charge there for Faded, but it didn't look particularly stylish. Sure, they're going to find Skiz here, but Skiz is going to be back care of that that teleporter really, really quickly. And it was a big stagger onto Depresso as well here.
Yeah, I mean, you could Depresso perhaps wanting for a 1v1 instead gets a 3v1 as the Lucio, Junkrat, and Symmetra all turn to face them. So Bay State have to worry about how they're going to re-enter. Keep in mind, there's the Photon Barrier at the ready, the Earth Shatter as well from Skiz coming online, and Savannah College had the benefit of already controlling the objective.
Self-destruct, and Cave only just able to get around the side, trades out, we lose support for support. In comes the Riptire up onto the high ground, finds the D-Mech, and Bay State start to find some kills. It's more than 50% of the point capped here for SCAD. They are going to give this one over without a contest.
Man, that's actually a big pickup there from Cabe. Not only getting the elimination on it to the Baptiste, which means no immortality field, so no survivability, but on top of that, getting the D-Mech with the Riptire additionally beyond that. So a lot of work being done by the Junkrat, which means that Bay State will get full control of this objective and force Savannah College to commit resources as they try and re-enter.
Hey, it's visual clutter time here in Overwatch 1. We get the Amplification Matrix just to add into this one. Sound barrier out from Cabimus. Neb now brings theirs online, but it's 1-for-1 across the board here. Self-destruct out from Infernal. Faded finds a frag and the sound barrier out now from Neb. Bay State look like they're going to come out on top of this one as they start to push Savannah College Art of Design back towards spawn.
Yeah, that was just a fight that everyone dumps everything, and the team that uses more Qs wins the fight. So Bay State rightly committing the sound barrier there. It's perhaps not tactically, intelligible, but it certainly is effective. And now Savannah College have the advantage of not needing to worry about opposition resources. Riptire and Window.
Nice. And that's going to be the D-Mech and the kill. Massive advantage now for Savannah College of Art and Design. They don't have to worry about Ultimates, but we don't know if they know about that one just yet. They can probably do this in the neutral, although Inferno will be back in the fight fairly soon here. And Depresso started to get that charge up to a high tick rate. In comes the tire. 1 HP and a dream and a bang and a boom. And Abs is down. Faded too. Savannah College Art and Design coming back in strong here. Finding frag after frag after frag. And looking good to get the recap. Bay State back away with what they can maintain. And it's going to be down to Cave to find something with this Riptire in the next fight.
And I mean, now we're headed to about equal percentage on the point in terms of timing. So Bay State looking to try and re-enter and just force this last fight to their favor. As you said, Cave with the Riptire gonna have to be explosive. There it is, activated early as Savannah College back up a little bit.
In through the TP, Immortality Field. Oh, it's a beautiful fire strike. Cave's down as well here, and now neither team has an Immortality Field. Skids has the Shatter ready to go. Doesn't have to worry about the projected barrier from Depresso just yet. Shatter comes in, doesn't connect, a little bit wide on that one, but the damage has been done here. In the exchange of life and values here, only Neb gets anything out of Savannah College Art and Design, who put themselves in a fantastic position to take this in a 2-0 fashion. It's 99-73, and we've only got the Tracer of Cave to try and keep this alive, and there's only so much one Tracer can do. Savannah College Art and Design go 1-up in the series.
And that is just a dominant performance here in map number 1 as, Skiz goes wide with a Shatter in that final fight, but mostly because everyone else had been eliminated to that point. So, an early lead here from Savannah College on this first control point. But will it be enough to keep themselves in the lead as we go forth? Again, a first to 4 here for our grand finals, Phil. So, another 3 more maps required for Savannah College as we go further into this series.
I think there's some useful historical algebra to look at here. When we look at the last time these two teams met, which was back at the start of March earlier this year, it was a 3-1 in favor of Bay State. And Bay State actually took the control round in that 1-3 format. We saw Savannah College of Art and Design actually take what I believe was the hybrid map for that series. And so we suddenly find ourselves looking at a potential reversal of fortunes here for Savannah College of Art and Design. Again, maybe a little bit early to talk about things so early on in the series, but that's got to be a good sign if you are Savannah College, right? Like you have taken a map off the team who took this map off you last time you played.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at our kind of map order that we go through, right? Our next map type is going to be Escort. Then you look at Assault, and Hybrid is the 4th one. So, considering that historical factoid that you provided to us just now, in Savannah College, if they're up 3, all of a sudden you're going to home map territory, and things are looking dire for Bay State. That being said, that is very far into the future. We still have a lot more to deal with before then, as we get into map number 2 in a moment here in our first to 4 of our ECAC Grand Finals. Escort will be up next, just waiting on the selection of the teams. And for Bay State, it's a moment not only to select the map that we're going to, but also take a moment to take a breath and kind of readjust and reapproach perhaps the assignment of what Savannah College is putting forward.
Yeah, both of our teams looking to get the upper hand on this next map. Both teams playing to win. And Lenovo Legion knows that it's not just our teams, it's you at home that plays to win. To stand out from the competitor, you need equipment that matches the speed of your thoughts and actions. The Legion Y25 monitor delivers wins in the toughest, most critical situations. With its extreme 1 millisecond response time to its insane 240 Hz refresh rate, the Legion Y25 doesn't just keep up, but does a lot more. Built for those engaged in vast multiplayer battles at the tournament level, the Legion Y25 offers a 24.5-inch FHD IPS panel with built-in NVIDIA G-Sync compatibility. The Legion Y25 monitor is available at Lenovo.com and, of course, other fine retailers.
All right, we do have a substitute now for our teams as we get set to go in map number 2. Depresso being subbed out, Forgotten coming in on the DPS role. So a little bit of a different look here from our squad at Bay State, and hoping to make a little bit of a more impact as we get into map number 2 here.
And this is actually a relatively common strategy that we see. I'm thinking back to, we actually saw Logic's return to competitive play in a tournament last weekend, who is a player that fills this specific role, usually coming in as, despite their massive hit scan prowess, as a Symmetra specialist, as someone who can play specific roles in an otherwise very complicated map type. And so that might be why we are seeing Depresso coming out and Forgotten coming in. Depresso has now fulfilled their role in this particular map type, and as we move over into our payload map, Havana here on your screens, we see Forgotten brought in for specific purpose.
Forgotten is a very, very flexible player, just to highlight this. Obviously, we see them on the projectile right now, but they've got a really good Tracer, really strong Widowmaker as well. So Forgotten can play what you need, and we'll see that come into come to the forefront now. The other thing to highlight is that Bay State Nebs is out. Mikan's going to step in as well, so no expectation of Riggs specifically. Neb, obviously, that being their highlight. That being said, Forgotten already making their presence known as a big headshot from the Hanzo takes out the main support of SCAD.
I mean, for now, if you're SCAD, you're really just looking to get as much as you can off this clock, but it's not been really what you hoped for. You want at least one good teamfight win, but man, Forgotten came in and put on a massive showing here for Bay State so early on in the map.
Yeah, 71% ult charge already, only rivaled by Skiz on the Reinhardt, and I have to say, the Earthshadow is a lot more generous in its ult percentage gain than the Dragon Strike is. So Bay State going to make their way forward. Mikan going over to the Lucio here, so a lot more flexibility from this support player.
Ooh, wow, Donnie with a big dive takes Forgotten out of this entirely, but now has to deal with a much healthier looking Infernal. So trade for trade on this one as the DMAC comes through. Cave from Bay State still alive for now. The Shadow connects and puts them on the ground, but Bay State care of Faded and the big wall of anti-paid the shield backs them away. Comes back in, has the Shatter, lands it, but no! Cave throws in the wall and that interrupts the Shatter. That was dreadful for Bay State. Seeing some ults committed into this one. Cave and Faded both getting fragged, so Bay State starting to really find the tempo in this fight, and Savannah College of Art and Design slowly dwindling on this point A hold.
And and they don't even get the elimination onto the Symmetra here yet. There it is, finally going down, but Faded is eliminated as well, and you just know. There is some disappointed words being said from the main tank to the to the flex DPS player here.
There's definitely a bruh in there somewhere.
Something like that. Now, there is a recontest available to SCAD as they try and walk in. Forgotten trying to just... Oh, never mind, actually. As I guess the presence of Forgotten was enough to just set everyone back.
Yeah, I think slightly aborted pathing there on the left-hand side. And now they've got to push into a blizzard. So there's a lot that Dottie needs to get done here to keep the payload rolling for Savannah College of Art and Design. And of course, Blizzard is available for both teams here. And it's going to be more or less on top of each other for this one. Cave able to get out of that one without getting frozen. Skiz finds the frag here, and that's going to be forgotten out of this one. For 2 ults committed, we'd like a few more kills on that one, really, guys, so a little bit more efficiency next time. Savannah College of Art and Design are the ones finding frags here. Alone's back and takes Abs out of it, and we're going to get the Amplification Matrix committed at the last end of this team fight, but the wall is up, and it was so hard for Snapper to find space to thaw in the healing on that one. And a lot thrown at that ice block May there without really a lot being found on this one. Dottie gets to eat on the dragons. It's a long, drawn-out, knockdown, drag-out fight here, LaFon, but Savannah College of Art and Design are coming out on top.
You're going to see some switches come in from Bay State as a result. It's going to be forgotten over to mid-range Cassidy, so more hit scan potential now. And I mean, that was a lot of ultimates dumped at the spawn doors, essentially, for Savannah College. Bay State looking to walk back in now with that resource advantage. But eyes on Skiz. If you get a quick Earth Shatter to knock everyone down, things are going to be really rough.
Oh! I'm not even sure what happened with that interaction there, but now they've got to dodge the self-destruct. Lilith gets squashed. Skiz is still up and swinging through, getting nice and close to another Earth Shatter already halfway and climbing, but Bay State are the one finding the frags in the fracas. Faded with the double. Down goes... No, Kevin must actually escapes with this one. That's some smooth moves from the Lucio.
Yeah, put the speed boots on. Let's get out of... That's what Kavimas is saying there. But Bay State, you know, they commit not a whole heck of a lot, relatively speaking. So really just the Earth Shatter, or just the Sound Barrier and the Earth Shatter fit already up to 75% yet again, by the way.
Nice TP interrupts the line of fire on that Amplification Matrix. They're not out of the woods just yet as they do back their way into the blizzard, and they lose Snappy as a result of this one. Ab still has the high ground. Nobody currently contesting them for that one. Able to rein in damage and healing as you might like. And Bay State put their best foot forward, charge through what's left of Savannah College of Art and Design, and they find themselves rounding this final corner into the end of Point B.
That is a really rock and a hard play situation that Savannah College found themselves in, by the way. On one end, it was the Ant Matrix. On the other end of the teleporter, it was the Blizzard. So really nowhere to go, and Bay State will roll the point forward as they capture second, and we're going to see, I believe, Forgotten switch over. Indeed, it's going to be onto the Widowmaker here.
Okay, and ults committed at not quite the spawn doors, but at the start to this point. And Savannah College of Art and Design are finding some value here. Cabe and the D-Mech coming through and down and out as well. Bay State able to find double as they start to push back. It's Skiz versus Faded up above the Point B spawn doors. And Savannah College of Art and Design have come out on top here, but it's a difficult position. Bay State have a massive spawn advantage.
Yeah, this is going to... Actually, the thing I will say, though, is that walking out of these choke points is very difficult. Yeah, and Faded's not going to even let them. The Shatter is still available here for Skiz, and so too is the Sound Barrier. Forgotten, try to just walk out of spawn. There's a Reinhardt next to you.
We have seen them find one pick and a second pick. This is great from Forgotten. Like, this is a massive nut-cracking moment here for Forgotten, completely stopping this this potential spawn hold in its tracks as Bay State will win out. Sorry, as Bay State will win out over time as the kills start to come in due to their massive spawn advantage. They've broken this hold, and now they start to get the payload rolling.
That being said, Savannah College did not expect to get, this point held on their own, in this area. So essentially, that's just free time gained as the cart is going to roll forward to where they expect to hold the fight. And speaking of high ground earlier, Alone should have the advantage now, but Forgotten already giving a ton of warning over. Alone says, all right, let me reset a little bit.
Can we talk about how sad this Widow matchup is? We've got Forgotten versus Alone. I don't know, just something about that makes me feel a little melancholy, but Forgotten clearly feeling themselves here as Cabimus goes down. Massive advantage here for Forgotten with those sites currently running. Shadow comes through. Need to see some conversions on that one, really, from Savannah College of Art and Design to slow the roll here of Bay State. Cade with the dragon on the left-hand side. Have to hope for Savannah College of Art and Design that no one's coming through that door. Changes coming through Savannah College of Art and Design. They've got to get in and start getting this stalled out. But man, Forgotten. Oh man, as I call the name, they get fragged, whatever, but Forgotten has been putting on an absolute clinic here. Cave on the high ground, looking to burn down Shield, looking to burn down Reinhardt's. But Bay State and Cabe just fed up that they've not been mentioned enough in this particular fight, in this particular map, just puts on another clinic here, takes apart Savannah College of Art and Design, and they're seeing this slow, grindy roll into the end of point Sealathon.
Oh, another headshot there, by the way, and then gets the flick back forth, and it's just the wrecking ball. There's desperate contest, but it won't be enough.
What an absolute... I feel like all 4 DPS on the field right now want to be known as someone to be scared of, because there have been moments here of absolute terror inducement from these DPS players.
Yeah, I mean, just what can you say? Forgotten was a big part of that stepping up early, and then Cave comes in to close it out with the Hanzos. The snipers come in clutch, and yeah, while Lilith and Alone were really strong elsewhere in the map, in this final third, it felt like it was all the 2 DPS of Bay State that helped the cart roll forward. And man, what a closeout there. 56 seconds time bank remaining here as they get the 3-point capture. Doesn't sound like a lot, but Havana, notoriously difficult to close out. And that was, again, on Bay State, closing the fight out with just 4 players remaining alive. A very, very tall task.
Yeah, well, that's a big ask. And now we get to see how the turns table when they are indeed tabled. Bay State on the defense this time, and interestingly here, not opting into the Symmetra. And we have seen recently this Symmetra adaptation to this close spawn hold that gives you better coverage over both sides of the way out of that attacking spawn. Instead, going for the Cassidy here, Lafon.
Cassidy also does give you the benefit of using the flashbang to drop the shields, right? If you hit it on the Reinhardt, for example, all of a sudden there's a lot more focus fire available to be brought, and you can force out the immortality field. So perhaps it's just a little stylistic difference for sure, but one that also has a high ramp, no ramp up damage required for the Cassidy.
I would think look for something pretty impressive here from Malone to get Savannah College of Art and Design into the defensive position, but maybe a little bit late for this one, certainly a little late for Cabimus. The charge comes through from Faded. The sweep. Oh my days, he's got the shatter! He's got the shatter in 22 seconds, Lafon!
Charging into an entire team, the immortality field was there and swinging away with nary a care in the world. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Faded has the ear shattered. I don't know that Skiz knows that yet.
No, I wouldn't want to guess that. Straight through the Cave again with the wall, interrupts the shatter on point A. Havana, somebody give this guy the post-it note that is not the way to play. Faded goes for the dive out, but Skiz puts pay to them with a swing of the hammer. Savannah College of Art and Design have broken this hold. It's taken them slightly longer than it took for Bay State, but they are about to get this moving.
I would not at all blame Faded if they were spamming the report button onto Cave at this point. That's 2 shatters denied by the May, and it's on your own team, Cave. Come on. That gives Skiz an advantage, a return in the Earth Shatter department. Does not get a lap this time around. And now Savannah College trying to take a ton of space here just to prevent Bay State from re-entering.
Yeah, aggressive posturing here. They will, of course, have that photon barrier and the amplification matrix, forcing a lot of space out of Bay State if they put these in right, but they are going to have to, in turn, deal with the Blizzard. Out it comes, no Diva to eat that one. The hands a little bit high there on the Sigma to get that jumped up, and Bay State swing back in with a Blizzard and a bop on the nose for Savannah College of Art and Design.
So Cave making up for the mistake earlier. We'll get the eliminations here. And I suppose one fight you're the GOAT, and the next one you are a GOAT. So in that regard, Cave made up for their mistake, and Bay State will hold for the moment.
Ooh, Faded taking a bit of damage here, but I assume the team is close enough to help them out of that one. Here's the Flux, 2 in the air. No CC to deal with that one, and Donny gets in over the top. Can't find the frag, needs the immortality to be able to survive through this. They weather the storm of the amplification matrix. Lilith with the Blizzard now, but the kill's still coming out from Bay State. So for Savannah College of Art and Design, that is a Blizzard with very few implications here for Bay State. Stun landed alone back now on the Cassidy as well, and Skiz looking for somewhere to stick this shatter.
This has been a bit of a harried fight. One, though, is a little unexpected in its engagement, but now Skiz looking for that shatter. Just posturing up against the Reinhardt. Fire strike out.
Sandberry out. It's aggressive from Cabimus. Hits everybody nice and large. Allows them a bit more survivability. Allows them to go ham here with the primary fire. Faded has the shatter, but we're out of the mech now. for Donny. Will find a kill on the way through. Roughly equalizing here. Shadow comes through. 2 on the ground. We need some follow-up here. Donny and Alone between them finding kills here. And it's down to the 1 minute marker. But Savannah College of Art and Design now have the numbers advantage. They've got the resource advantage here. And they are guaranteed the cap when we get to go through the distillery.
Yeah. That is, I mean, on top of that, you look at how much that was committed by Bay State. In fact, they actually expend more for their loss of a fight there than Savannah College do. You can see the hunt coming in. Big right click as well. Alone not letting Forgotten out. So Alone and Forgotten. You're correct about it being a little,
Right? It's a little melancholy.
Definitely despair-inducing, perhaps. There was Depresso earlier as well.
It was, yeah. We should go and talk to these players and check they're all okay. I know it's a difficult time of life for all of them. Okay, High Noon out here from Alone, doesn't find too much, but forces some space, and Skiz is able to find the pick on the back of that. Out comes the Blizzard from Cave, needs 1, ideally 2 here, kills to equalize this for Bay State, but with Skiz going down, and Cave on the hunt with the right clicks, freezing up the Baptiste, who dropped out of the way to avoid that, but the Blizzard is now out from Lilith, and they find 2 picks, including the Rhyme, but the Shadow comes through, so the Self-Destruct comes through from Inferno, and how can you call this fight one way or another? Every time it flips, somebody answers back from Savannah College of Art and Design. Out comes the Shadow this time from Skiz, finds 1, puts Cave on the ground, but again, needs more to make this work. No team is really winning this out. It's a war of attrition. The longer you can keep yourself in this fight, the better you're gonna do, and Savannah College of Art and Design now have the numbers to keep the cart rolling the farm.
I mean, Savannah College not letting the hunt go down. There it is.
What? At the extreme end of the charge.
You can see Skiz plays one of those Rhinecart game modes that you see in the customs there. Rotates through the doorway. Spectacular stuff. Savannah College continuing the throughput as they try and just get this elimination. Cryo Freeze forced out, but Skiz is eliminated in turn.
Skiz got a little aggressive and fades back to the Shadow. Down it goes, and down goes Cavimus. A nice little step to the side, and the charge connects, and we're seeing Bay State, but the brakes back on the cart farm.
Chaotic is, I think, the easiest descriptor of what we're seeing so far on Havana, as it has been non-stop action here in the first and second phases of Savannah College's attack half. Really, the fights aren't over till everyone's dead, I think is probably the...
Sometimes not even then.
Yeah. Oh, another big
Nice
wall there.
Yeah, they were able to break that through easily. And Bay State went for the High Noon Amplification Matrix play, but Forgotten had to drop down to find some value, but faded with the space that bought. Will find the connect onto Lilith. Shadow out, only finds Mikan, gets the sound barrier off. I don't believe that hit too many. Trying to keep yourself alive here as we are now down below the 1 minute mark. Bay State punch Skiz in the schnoz and send him back to spawn here. Bay State looking strong on the defense here in the distillery. They've not been sampling the wares so far.
30 seconds remaining.
Last 30 seconds of the round as well. And it's back to the spawn doors for Bay State this time around. Flashbang will go wide or eat in. The difference is the same.
Blizzard, self-destruct. We're looking for the Shatter once Faded gets out of that freeze, if indeed they do. No, they're not going to survive that one. I mean, look, this has been an expensive fight for Bay State and for Savannah College of Art and Design, but by the time this evolves into a full 6v6 team fight again, I'm thinking SCAD are going to be back and ready to mount the defense, but they've got to get on and get this pushing. The card is currently moving. Bay State are doing what they can to confound Savannah College of Art and Design on their way back.
We're not going to get a true 6v6 in this final fight of overtime, no matter what happens. There's the elimination onto Infernal.
Snap it the kill. Amplification Matrix on the high ground and Forgotten back on the Doomfist, but they've got to get in and start to find some kills, but the cart is only 5 meters away from completing here. Savannah College of Art and Design could scoop this one through the last few seconds. Alone has to drop down but gets frozen out of the High Noon. The self-destruct comes in, lands high, lands wide, but the rest of Savannah College of Art and Design, as the fireworks go off, push the cart across the finish line, and on we go into point C.
We have a minute 20 to see this final phase, and that is effectively one fight on Havana third. Forgotten will go over to the Widowmaker. Causing problems on purpose, I think, is the aim for this Widowmaker. And the aim is crisp, of course. See how well they're able to resolve it, as Alone switches over the Tracer, a little bit more flank pressure coming in. And Bay State looking to run the clock out.
Ooh, okay, I didn't even spot the swap over to the Zen. The other sniper, the one we all forget about, takes Forgotten out of this fight. They just weren't looking for it. But K bounces back with the Blizzard, forces Savannah College of Art and Design back, and as Savannah College start to backpedal, Bay State put on the pressure, find the kills, and this is now desperation territory here for Savannah College of Art and Design on Havana.
And Alone does not even get the elimination to Faded. Some excellent peel there by Mikan. We'll get one for K, but I don't know that it's enough, and though the health pools are low, Bay State look to stand tall as Forgotten stands back in the sniper's nest.
Wow. Well, Forgotten remembers how to click heads here. That's 2 down. And for Savannah College of Art and Design, it's a scrabble to even reach the payload. And Inferno just shuts the door on their toes, slams it in their face. And now they've got 8 seconds to mount a defense. And Bay State just don't want to let them. What is this from Forgotten? A phenomenal performance, a monstrous performance to bring Bay State level with Savannah College.
Alone was dancing for their life, but Forgotten said no way as they close out map number 2 to, as you said, even up the series. And what a hectic half that was, Phil, as we got non-stop action on that end. This is Faded, by the way, getting Earthshatter in 22 seconds.
There we go. Look at it chunk up. Everyone just cornered up in a nice little niche there for Faded to swing through. 22-second Earthshatter. My days.
It's going to be a lot more required as we even out the series. And hey, we are guaranteed at least a 5th map now for sure. As we got to see what map number 3 awaits us. Hey, Control was a little bit more dominant for Savannah College, but Bay State responded in kind. So each map that we've kind of gone to, one team has definitely been on, or definitely had the upper hand. And as we head into our hybrid match, Assault, I'm curious to see how we resolve that inequity in our scoreline.
Yeah, I don't think there is yet space to really slide a slice of paper between these two teams. I think arguably, in fact, demonstrably a better performance here from Bay State, both on the offense and the defense on Havana. But I still don't want to count Savannah College of Art and Design out just yet. And that's not just because I like Snopper as a player. I do think we've yet to see the very depths to which Savannah College of Art and Design can reach for compositions and for grit to fight back against Bay State. But there's no argument here that that was something of a statement from Bay State. And again, from Forgotten in particular. That was a pretty difficult Widowmaker to play against, let's put it mildly.
Sometimes, hey, I mean, Forgotten, you give the that player like a pixel, they'll take your head off for the trouble. So in that regard, yeah, absolutely a terrifying opponent for sure. And I mean, Forgotten, we didn't get to see them on map number 1, but a flexible player nonetheless. So even though they're a real threat on the Widowmaker, Tracer, they're equally as good. I think you obviously can move over a little bit to the Hanzo that we saw a little bit from them. And in general, it's going to be a player that has a lot to kind of be a standout performer. We are going to head into Assault next. Temple of Anubis is our showcase. And another slower paced style, I think, just by nature, the map geometry is in our future.
Yeah, well, enjoy it while you can, everybody. This momentary reprieve from the beta to revisit the dizzying heights that is the Assault map. Arguably, if you listen to analysts, the place where the purest, most polished form of Overwatch gets played. It's gone. We're chucking it out. But Temple of Anubis is where we're going to be chucking it out from. This is Savannah College of Art and Design's pick here. And I think generally, certainly in the last 6 months or so, Anubis does seem to be the pick if you have to go to an Assault map. I feel like it's probably as close to a completely solved map as we have for the Assault map pool.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of kind of different styles and looks, we actually have 2 substitutes for Bay State College as a result. It's going to be Neb coming back in for Mikan and Depresso stepping back in for Forgotten. So, at least so far, I don't think we've had Depresso and Forgotten simultaneously, which is, at least for the opening look for us, a little unlucky.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, like, Faded is also a fairly sad username here, right?
Well, I mean, could have multiple...
I mean, like, I'm thinking Faded as washed and past its former glory.
Yeah, I suppose so. That's definitely an option. Infernal, definitely another
some negative connotations. Yeah.
But, I mean, speaking of, perhaps slightly negative connotations, double shield from both squads. As it's going to be a little bit of a slow grind as these two teams try and match up against rotating through this half wall room on the side from the left is Savannah College's aim. Bay State looking to put as much damage and pressure on their rotation before they can get there.
Yeah, Alone going up against Cave in this mega health pack room on the far side. is being given the runaround. Cave forced to rewind, and Depresso turns and takes Alone out of the picture here. So Savannah College Art and Design now pushing into this with a fairly sizable disadvantage. That initiation tool off the table, and Donnie just gets his world absolutely rocked here. Bit of back and forth here. Lilith on the Hanzo finds one pick. I think this is ultimately going the way of Bay State on the defense, but Lilith giving a very good accounting of themselves here and leaving the door open a crack for Savannah College on their way back through.
Oh, and they're not even going to let the tank get out. Skiz is going to have to reset. That's actually a big pick, though. Not allowing Skiz to escape. What with the spawns being closer for the offense. Ooh. Big halt combo, too. What with the spawns being closer for the offense, the fact that a couple eliminations came in onto Bay State meant there was a small window where Savannah College could possibly have re-engaged. Unfortunately, the combo halt play here from the tank line is denying all that pressure gained.
Okay, Abs, the other EU import here on the support line for Bay State. Pops that amplification matrix early, but Savannah College of Art and Design able to rotate quickly out of its line of fire. And now they're back and ready to push back in now that that's gone. Cave closing in on a pulse bomb, gets into the back line, almost has that online. A big stick in this particular location could take out the entire team. The stick doesn't land, some damage coming through as a result of the pulse bomb. Stick connects, but Abs throws in that immortality build and keeps them alive, and it is frantic here for Alone. Cave ultimately gets the upper hand on this one, and it's a checkerboard in the kill feed, red and blue alternating in glorious style. Bay State arguably coming out on top here as Cave and Abs line the last few picks. It looks like we might get a bit of stagger onto Skiz here potentially as well.
Skiz played the flank corner Orisa, but unfortunately not for long. That is not a style that works in organized play. Of course, not intentionally done so, but Skiz really no other options available to them. So, explosive a fight that was for sure. Bay State coming out on top and cost them everything except the supercharger, which will be in play for the next one. SCAD not much better.
Hey, you don't need ult. You have primary fire, and you have Depresso clicking heads as Snappy goes down. Savannah College of Art and Design hamstrung on the way through that side room yet again. Nearly 1 minute left on the clock, and Savannah College of Art and Design have not got anywhere near the points.
Yeah, this has been a real wake-up from Bay State in maps 2 and 3 so far. What double dig there from Abs? There's so much damage throughput. And we get another amplification matrix as the choke point walks through.
Stick lands will actually force out the immortality field from Snuffy. So that's one bit of utility no longer online, and Depresso finds the shot yet again. Closing it on the Bob as well. Nice big TNT over the top. Out goes the Bob, and down go Savannah College of Art and Design at the 37-second marker, and it's all Depresso in the kill feed.
The assists were there as well, Supercharger, and I mean now as we head into the final fight, speaking of a damage amplification, the Matrix is in tow. Bay State look to try and shut down this rush comp. Skiz going over to the Reinhardt for the last moment. They want to try and force a brawl fight. Time is not on their side.
Aye, they finally getting on to the point, but they have now got a big advantage. Nev off the table, and they were very close to having that rally online. Bay State now scrambling to mount a defense against this shocking assault. Comes Savannah College of Art and Design. The defense comes in the form of Depresso on the high ground with the primary fire. Snuffy and Lilith still in this at high charge, finding value, but it's overtime, and Lilith and Snappy between them are not enough to make this work out. We get the tag in from Alone on the Doomfist. Out of cooldowns, out of luck, out of time, out of options, and it's looking like it's Savannah College of Art and Design locked out here on Temple of Anubis A.
The hero of this final fight is going to have to be Abs. Man, what APM there from the support player, and on top of that, some pretty fantastic aim, not just from the primary fire, the damage dealer, but also some pretty spectacular directs with the healing grenades.
Yeah.
And Bay State College off that now. I mean, this map is theirs. It's theirs to lose, right? That's the point that they're at. No percentage given over. Savannah College, at best, they're playing for a draw.
Yeah, and the draw, whilst it sounds easy enough to say, oh yeah, we just hold them off A, they held us off on A, easy peasy. You've got to hold them off for 1/3 of a tick. Like, you have to do, on the offense here, 1/3 of your normal job to cap A. And we've just seen Savannah College of Art and Design struggle against that for the entire 4-minute round and only get a touch on the TP through. a slightly more intelligent, slightly more mobility-focused play here from Bay State that sees them touch point early could just destroy this defensive hold.
Tall task ahead of them for sure, no doubt about it. We'll see how well they're able to recover though, Phil, because going down, it's not it's not the end of the world. Again, this is a 1st to 4, so you need it's no match point here. Nonetheless, you still don't want to give away a map at this point. And I mean, a draw would at least extend the series a little bit further, right? This would be a wash, and you'd have to go on to the next map after that, forcing at least a 6th. But for the moment, it's Bay State. We're seeing, can they just force a rush onto this point and end this map early on?
Looks like they're coming in with a modified dive here with the Reaper. Depressor playing an off angle on the Echo. They make the rotation through into the left-hand side room successfully. They flush out resource. They take the Immortality Field off the table, but into the back line comes alone, lands the punch, but Depresso has found a pick, faded with a second here, and Savannah College of Art and Design, they need to punch back, and they need to punch back incredibly quickly. They might just manage the defense here. It's Depresso, Nev, and Faded alive, and Savannah College of Art and Design have the numbers, and in addition, they come out of that with a good chunk of ult charge.
That is actually some pretty spectacular play, and a risky read from Savannah College, but one that ends up working out for them. They recognize the rotate through is just a little slow from Bay State, so they hit the go button instead, and it ends up paying off. Now, the Gravitic Flux is going to be online for Donnie momentarily.
Donnie in a world of trouble there, alone, goes for the ultimate play, doesn't find anything with it, but does get a whole heckin' heap of shields, and they do find the picks here. Depresso's down early, and for Bay State, it's a big backpedal towards Spawn, and Savannah College of Design with a momentary stay of execution.
One thing to highlight, though, is that Savannah College are playing a little loose with this. Or, sorry, Bay State are playing a little loose with this, trying to force a fight early, and instead, not really working as a cohesive unit. There's another dive denied.
Okay, it's going to be the Flux. Only finds one, I think. We've already seen the trick come through as Abs finds one with Coalescence. Again, it's checkerboard time here in the kill feed. It's going to favor Bay State. They're in the offensive position, and Depresso has the high ground with the duplicated Baptiste, has the amplification matrix, drops in the IMO, drops in the amplification matrix, and looks to laser down whatever enters the line of sight. And that's it. 2, now 3, now 4, then 5. It's just alone left with his namesake to try and keep this point alive, and it's not going to be enough. Bay State take the win on Temple of Anubis and move up to 2-1 in the series.
And Bay State just running it down at the objective ends up being the effective play. As you said, they take that 2-1 series lead. Depresso will get the highlight here, but man, that's just a lot of damage into a corner. A lot of amps.
Yeah, with the Bob as well, that's, there's not a lot you can do about that short of a sound barrier or a transcendence or anything to get in the way of that damage, right?
Damage mitigation is what's required. Damage mitigation was not found, so Depresso will get the highlight. They'll get the map off the back of it as well, the full hold into that first third gained, and overall, Bay State, a different team that we saw than we saw in map number 1, as they've taken the last 2 to take that 2-1 series lead.
Yeah, halfway up this particular mountain, and we move into our hybrid map. And hey, guess what, Lafon? It's a hybrid map, and it's a grand final. So that, of course, means we're going to, of course, the only possible map selection here, Kings Row.
It's unfortunate, but what can you say? The teams are...
it's no Numbani.
Yeah, on the one hand, predictable, on the other, well-practiced, right? The two sides of the descriptor of what this map is all about. And I suppose it is going to favor Savannah College just a little bit. I think their rush composition looked a little bit tighter, a little bit more cohesive than Bay State, at least off that first map. And then from then we haven't, we went to a chaotic map number 2, which was Savannah. Rush was also played, but certainly not, an idealistic look at that style. So, I mean, perhaps if you are Bay State trying to force those aggressive fights, because that's where you had the most value so far halfway through our series.
It's a difficult task here for Savannah College of Art and Design, right? Because they just lost their map pick, and we're into another map pick for them. And whilst we can look at Kings Row as being practiced, if you are playing a team that has just put you in the 2-1 losing position, you've got to assume they are as practiced on Kings Row as they are for Havana, as they are for Temple of Anubis, right? So I understand wanting to go somewhere that is solved, that is familiar, that you know how to play, but I do wonder from Savannah College of Art and Design, should we maybe have seen something a little more out of left field, something they think maybe they've practiced that Bay State haven't?
I guess that leaves the question, have they practiced something that Bay State haven't? And in that regard, then the answer is, well, just play what you're best at, right? Rather than trying to mind game your opponent. So I don't think Savannah College are that far out in terms of where their position is. Sure, the last map was not particularly close, but other than that, I think it's fair to accept that Savannah College is going to play to their strengths here.
Yeah. So far, differences between these two teams measured in centimeters rather than meters in the grand scheme of things, and it's aggressive out the gate here from Savannah College of Art and Design into a very solid, very space and tempo control composition from Bay State. But as we see Savannah College start to move in, they deal an immediate, powerful blow to Bay State as they take Faded off the table. Ultimately, I don't think it's worked out for them in the long run, but they do have a good opportunity to come back in here as a unit and start to get some progress, because Faded will be back, but not back as a full 6.
That's going to be 2 ticks likely given over here to Savannah College. Yep, there it is. And they're actually going to try and go for the 3rd with this Ant Matrix. All a brawl here in the open.
Yeah, it's a tie back in from Infernal just to stop this going automatically over to Savannah College of Art and Design, and the Immortality field buys some longevity for Bay State on the field, and they use that to masterful effect, and they start to find frags here on the point A defense just as it was in danger of going over to Savannah College of Art and Design. Shadow almost on board here from Faded, needs to divert some attention to get rid of some of these turrets and survive for the team. It's going to be the photon barrier up from Lilith. Didn't even see where that was, but the B-hop shatter round the corner from Faded. Puts 2 on the ground, lands the stick, and stylish as you like, here's the hold for Bay State.
Faded's been looking for that hop shatter around the corner this entire series and is finally rewarded. This time, Skiz is not looking, so that's going to be the full reset. And Savannah College, they were in control of that fight until Bay State. They give up 2 ticks, but they walk back in with resources. Now, all of a sudden, Abs back into the Ant Matrix. You're just looking Bay State to take more tempo and press the play.
Self-destruct with a chase in as well, but it might be a little deep here for Savannah College of Art, for Bay State. The Savannah College of Art and Design are potentially in the position to push back here, but no, Bay State mount the defense and hold it handily. And we're seeing Savannah College of Art and Design start to make some adaptations, but it might be a little late in the day here, LaFon. It's 1 minute 43 on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose this is the best time to make the change, right? You still have time to generate those resources you need, but in the grand scheme of things, Savannah College is going to look to try and play explosive with these ultimates. Still alone out early.
Yeah, alone out incredibly early. Amp Matrix up, sound barrier out here. If you're Savannah College, you're at least happy that pretty much every resource that they started this fight with is gone from Bay State, but the longer this goes on, the more resource Bay State will generate as they are coming out top trumps in this fight. And in this next fight, one of the last in this map, 2 DPS ults on the table for Bay State.
I mean, looking at what Savannah College has, there's not much in the cupboard there, Phil. Just at the moment, just the Meteor Strike from Alone. Skiz.
It might be called Meteor Strike, but in the grand scheme of things, not that meaty in the cupboard, LaFon.
Donnie actually tries to chase, came out. Oh, is this going to be a Death Blossom? No, there isn't. No way.
No, pushing on the right-hand side here. That's low on the defense matrix. Now nothing to mitigate this Death Blossom. Out it comes, but will get stunned out and ultimately punished for that one. Forgotten. Looking to find something there against the Baptiste. Not able to find the kill, and Alone chases them down. Nice connect into the charge there, and that's going to leave Skiz in a world of hurt here. Savannah College of Art Design, they get one more bite at this cherry, LaFon.
Alone has put a lot of pressure in on the Doomfist, but pressure's not enough. You need to get eliminations, and there's a shatter at the ready.
Faded just nonchalantly shielding that Amp Matrix, but didn't keep a good enough track here of Skiz, who lands the shatter, and Lilith in over the top with the Death Blossom. Self-destructing the back line. Bay State start to punch back. Forgotten finds the double here. Still alive and still causing a whole world of disruption. Lands the punch, but Forgotten will eventually fall here to Skiz. But Skiz down to low HP as well. Cave able to find Alone. And Bay State coming in looking strong here with a sound barrier at their back and at their beck and call. Overtime ticks down, and it's a lockout here on A for Savannah College.
85.3%, and that is 2 times on that first objective. that Bay State have a recontest that they turn into a victory to complete that hold. All of it coming down to some really excellent juggling of point responsibilities, the player tagging to make sure the objective does not contest further. Between Forgotten on the Doomfist and Infernal on the Diva, they pulled double duty. And as a result, Savannah College not able to turn their advantage into a point capture. They'll have to now try and defend a whole point. 85.3% is what they have to work with. Honestly, not a lot.
No, it's a 15% more or less disadvantage over what your opponent had to accomplish. You don't want to be giving away percentage before the round has even started. But what I do like here from Savannah College of Art and Design is, I think if we're being generous, their offensive run for the first minute and a half was a weird composition. I understand the appeal of the Symmetra, but it just didn't work, and it didn't work for a while now. But coming in here, starting off with a very stable, very strong composition, with some counters for what Bay State are already hovering.
I mean, they'll have to shut them out, right? That's the thing. And the other thing, too, is that Bay State has the advantage because not only do they know what their win condition is, and it's not very far, their spawn is really close. If things aren't working, they can change things up. Now, Bay State, obviously a very heavy spam composition. Forgotten, we talked about the Widowmaker as well.
Oh, I felt certain Forgotten was going to line that one out there, but Cabin was just a little bit quick there. Forgotten, putting on the right side. Again, just casually, doesn't care that they're a very fragile Widowmaker. Stood in the middle of spawn, and, well, that's ultimately what happens when you get that cocky. Oh, the Widowmaker, Lilith, snipes you out of the competition. Again, weird, very fraggy, very deathmatchy style here from Bay State. They've only got to win one fight conclusively to take this map.
They're well on their way as Kazumas gets taken out. Uncontested,
wow, okay.
Lilith is right behind them.
I mean, that's 2 down already, and Cabe coming in with a barrage. Okay, great here from Alone. That might just reverse their fortunes, but Mikan's able to get the res onto Cabe, and now Alone is trying to out-duel Infernal, and arguably coming out on top here. Certainly making it hard, dodges the hook with a roll. If they can land the flash, that's them down. Savannah College of Art and Design with a momentary stay of execution. Nothing gained yet for Bay State on their offense, and Forgotten again playing so greedily right by that point.
Man, Alone an absolute hero, though. I do not think Alone missed more than 3 shots in 5 magazines there. Spectacular stuff from the Cassidy. Sitting up with a... Oh, hello.
High ground, that's Forgotten. Needs to land, it does. Forgotten out of the picture, and Alone with the high noon ready to go, but Cave marking them masterfully, buys the space with Mikan to raise Forgotten, and again things turn on a dime here for Bay State. There's the high noon, looking for those skulls. Nobody making them so. Just at the last second, Abs tags back a pixel in and goes down. So, Bay State, well, they found a couple of frags here, still haven't broken the defense of Savannah College of Art and Design, and we are 2 minutes into the map. Infernal back in, finds Alone, but Forgotten is traded out here. It's hard to say that this is going to go the way of Savannah College of Art and Design. Bay State still holding on strong here.
Now, this Brawl deathmatch has not really availed any space. There's the sound barrier as well to make sure no one gets fully eliminated.
Blizzard coming in as Infernal finds the frag. Bay State takes Donnie out of this one. There's the Blizzard. Looks to me like Bay State are largely able to get out of the way of that one, however. Forgotten coming in and find the 3. Mikan brings Babs back into the fight, and Forgotten turns us around entirely for Bay State. 1 tick already gained. We're over halfway towards getting this point completely unlocked for Bay State. There's the barrage from Cave, and the timer ticks up! And that's it. That's going to put us at 3-1 here for Bay State. Lafon, 4 maps in, we're at match points.
This has been Bay State in a different orbit at this point in time, at this point in this series. We're going to highlight it from Faded here towards
Please be the B-Hop Shatter.
There's no way. There's nothing else it could be, right? In fact, there isn't.
There we go. Nicely done. Beautiful stuff. You love to see it. All the way, all 6 years of Overwatch 1, you've got to love the round the corner shatter.
Never gets old. Never gets old indeed, as we get the highlight here at the end of map number 4. That being said, we are 1 point away, 1 map away from Bay State walking away with the victory. They'll have to earn it in fashion if they want to close things out. Phil, it's not over for Savannah College and Art and Design just yet.
Not yet, no. But we are going to take a break and give our teams a chance to shake out the tension from their wrists, get a glass of water, and discuss strategy. When they're ready to go, we'll be ready to go, and we'll rejoin you in just a few minutes. Welcome back to what could be the last match in this season of ECAC. It's been a long, knockdown, drag-out series of fights of both of our teams here over the previous 4 maps, Lafon, and this last one could be it.
It really could be. I mean, it's if you're Savannah College, you're hoping you can come out with a little bit more explosiveness, a return to form in control, if you can find your footing, so to speak, because Bay State, after map number 1, have been in complete domination, I think, all the way throughout. A full hold on Temple of Anubis, a full hold on King's Row, off the back of some really well-timed recontests in its entirety, and as a result, now put themselves at match point as we head into, as you said, could be the final map, Nepal, as our control. And man, Savannah College have to really dig deep here.
They do. Bay State have been oppressive in the way they play, because it certainly feels to me like they never give us a break. Like Bay State want to be in this fight entirely. And that has to be so draining to play against. This style where you say, okay, well, look, maybe we're just going to trickle on to the point and buy 5 seconds each, and then somehow we miraculously get a 3K with an ult and we're back in it. To think that you have won a fight again and again and again against Bay State, only to find out that they refuse to accept that they've lost, is a very draining thing to play against. So Savannah College, they've got to dig deep. They've got to have had their bit of chocolate in between rounds to keep their energy levels up and find that last little bit here to keep us in this series.
One thing I will say, though, is that is how collegiate Overwatch has been played as of the last year or so, right? The top-end teams, and I'm talking your top 5 teams collegiate-wise, so the best of the best in collegiate, and obviously in the tier 2 scene that contest with that level, they play that level of aggression all the time, right? There's no downtime here. And well, it serves, because A, it's really mentally draining to kind of deal with, as you've said, but on top of that, it gives you more chances to find success. The more fights you take, sure, you're going to lose more fights. You're also going to win more fights just because of the sheer number you're taking. So eventually, your win percentage will go up by the fact that your opponents are not used to that level of aggression. I think Bay State have made that more than obvious as they've recovered. We could see that style tried to be played in the first map. It didn't work out so well. But ever since then, Bay State has kind of withered and, worn away at Savannah College's defenses.
Yeah, and it's not like it's a thing that you can shake off after one map, because you know that they're not going to suddenly decide to be, all friendly, buddy, and let you have a nice tactical reset. Like, they are going to keep up the pressure. And as you move into Nepal, it is crunch time for Savannah College of Art and Design, and we've got Brawl coming in against Double Shield. I assume Cabe is going to make the swap over onto the Tracer here for Bay State.
This is going to be an interesting rotation, though. This is very rare that you see Teleport come into the Mega Health Pack room on Sanctum. They're going to try to take the front line, and instead Alone finds the business end of the pile, or the fusion driver.
Again, very tradey here. I'm not even sure. I think with Ab securing those final 2 kills, that's Bay State coming out with the numbers to win this one. But Savannah College of Art Design have at least come away from this with a respectable amount of ult charge, even if they didn't win the fight.
They also get a recontest available. Donnie does not get DMAC'd. Unfortunate. No, does Donnie get DMAC'd. They're also going to make sure that Donnie goes back to the respawn queue. So Cabe is avenged in quick succession, and that's going to be the remaining eliminations done. And Dustin, Savannah College, back to the drawing board with you. This fight is well and truly over.
And I wonder, 2 fights in a row, we've seen this comp from Savannah College not work out. Are we looking to see them stick on until they hit ults and win an ult fight? Or do we see a quicker swap?
I think right now they're caught in the dilemma of winning, getting just enough eliminations that things are going well for them. There's 2.
Nice. Skids with a hero play, lands the charge, gets the squish, and that's 2 down. Alone stuck, weathers it out in the immortality field. And Cave will take them out of the fight with a follow-up damage here. Bay State slowly grinding out. They have given over control of the point, but again, they are just refusing to die. And Neb is on the hunt. It's the 2v1. The Lucio going for the jewels here. Wants to get behind this Baptiste and boot them into the pit, but can't make it happen. And overstays their welcome. Alone pushes back in, finds the 2k. And Savannah College of Art and Design almost in a position here to get the recap, but Bay State in control for now, playing around that proton barrier. There comes the flip. but I don't think we're done here from Bay State. I think they're ready for the recontest, and it's Depresso with the Dragon Double that puts pay to the push from Savannah College of Art and Design. Depresso with the 3K, getting their name in the books here on Nepal.
Unbelievable. That is actually unbelievable what we just witnessed from Depresso. The Dragon Strike obviously getting 2, but then a nice flick for the remaining members. And man, I'm impressed. It's been quite a difficult ordeal to just keep track of the ultimates that are being used. Never mind the fights that are being taken here as Savannah College, they're walking into engagements in Bay State. Their never say die attitude is really stepping up in a big way.
Oh, great patience here from Malone. Lands the ultimate, finds Depresso and Abs is down. Great stun there, interrupts the gravitic flux, and down goes Infernal. Savannah College of Art and Design win out this team fight, and it's another flipperoo on the point here, LaFon.
And now, I mean, this is going to mean that the next fight that we have is almost certainly going to be at like that 85 to like 60, 70 mark for Savannah College. So trending towards that final fight, and with Abs being eliminated, we are absolutely going to be trending towards that 90% mark. Abs can't even believe the fact that Fire Strike came through.
a look of disbelief there in the text chats. Bay State looking to make the rotation on the left-hand side here, but we do have the teleporter up. Savannah College of Art and Design can make this rotation quickly to match the aggression from Bay State, who are now pushing through main. Then he pokes ahead of the parapet momentarily, knows they can't stay there long term. And the Sandberry comes out from Neb, first ultimate is committed here from Bay State, but Savannah College of Art and Design have actually backed away from this. They're not engaging just yet. And Depresso is down for Bay State. Care of Donnie on the Diva. Looking at the D-Mech here as well for Donnie. No, the Immortality build comes through. That's going to keep them alive through this. And Savannah College of Art and Design played that masterfully, LaFon.
Yeah, and by mirror of that, Bay State played that incredibly poorly, actually, as Depresso gets caught out in an island, and Infernal, rather than trying to win the fight in the front line, tries to go help the Hanzo. Instead, both of them just die for the troubles. Now in last fight, Savannah College have a lot of aggressive space to take.
Dragging out from Depresso on the left-hand side there, doesn't really flush anyone out or force any positioning, but Bay State come in with 2 kills here. Infernal demects, but Depresso again coming up clutch for Bay State. Finds frags, they're going to lose Cave here, but the damage has been done. Bay State looking to retake control here. They flush Savannah College of Art and Design, and it is now the last fight territory.
Infernal going to reset here to get the mech back, not waiting for any time left, but that means Savannah College will be able to walk back in here before Infernal is back. Donnie already on the objective, self-destructing too.
There it is, self-destruct in the back. Donnie almost goes over the edge there, care of the boop from Neb, but Faded lands the shatter. Depresso lands his shots. Faded gets the better of Skiz, and it was looking so good here for a second for SCAD on the recon test, but it's Bay State with their foot on the point and the team kill bell ringing from their side of the hall.
1 round away now, Phil, our Bay State College, as it is now headed to what could be match point, literally, and Bay State. Just a good recovery there at the end to get back onto the objective to close the round out.
Yeah, heroic stuff from Depresso in particular. I don't want to keep leaning on how impactful the DPS have been here, because of course it is a team game, but the DPS line here for Bay State have come up clutch time and time and time again. And now they've only got to win this one sub-map, and that is their ticket stamped to the grand prize here for ECAC. Savannah College for Art and Design need to turn out their pockets and find that last little bit of lint of resistance to stop that coming true.
We'll get both teams on the objectives and teleports come in. All-out brawl will be the name of the game here as the 2 teams meet each other in these close quarters.
One of the relatively few mirrors we've had in this match so far. Faded lands the pin and Snappy goes down. Massive advantage now for Bay State. Faded going to get traded out, but the rest of Bay State are here to pile on the pressure. Up comes the wall from Cave, momentarily separates Savannah College of Art Design, and it's time for Depresso to start ramping up that Mumbai microwave to maximum settings and round out what is left of Savannah College of Art and Design from the point. But Bay State have control. They can take all the time they want here. But Savannah College will find 2 frags here. Bay State can't rest on their laurels. They've got to keep themselves in this one to keep that capture percentage ticking on up. Faded's able to find 1 here, and now the answering photon barrier up from Depresso. Bay State now just playing for control percentage. Savannah College have the numbers on the point. Skiz is being pressured, lands the shatter, and that's got to be it from Bay State. But again, refusing to say die, refusing to acknowledge when defeat is there on the team fight. They're going to make Savannah College pay for every second.
Even though that was a 1 fight for Savannah College, Bay State not unhappy with that one, I don't think. They get a lot of key resources out, and the Shatter obviously self-destruct to boot. And on top of that, they're at that 35% mark when realistically they should have been at 12 or 13. So Bay State still in a decent position overall, and I mean, getting to the objective, playing off the Shatter would mean massive gains for Bay State.
They're making the rotation up the steps. They try and get around that amplification matrix. The Shadow comes in, puts a couple on the floor, but Kavima survives and is able to get that in. We get the Blizzard out, and with a flick of the D-Matrix, it's the Blizzard taken off the line here by Infernal. Self-destruct now out, and the kills start to come through from Bay State. Depresso with another photon barrier, and with that surety at their back, they start to move their way forward, and they find the frags. Savannah College of Art and Design over the 50% mark here, but Bay State looking to plant their flag firmly back on the Ball Village. Having said that, Lilith finds the double. It was almost a pushback, a great showing here from Lilith, but Bay State will secure the flip. Savannah College starting to push back in. They know that Savannah College are momentarily wounded. How far is this going to go, LaFon?
Well, with that elimination onto Infernal, they're going to try and retake it.
Oh, no.
Wait, hello?
Yeah, Skiz charged off, faded back, and just as quickly as it looked like it was going to flip LaFon, it flips back. It's flip-flopping all over the show.
Looking for another reset here, Savannah College. I mean, Bay State looked to try and retain control this time around, something that has not really been found. There's no purchase been found in that regard on this stage. Savannah College walking back into the choke point. This time, Fada going to take a little bit of space and a big wall to slow things down here. Blizzard committed as well. No purchase found, no one caught in it.
That's what we in the business will call a zoning Blizzard. But now Lilith gets a chance to make something happen with a Blizzard of their own. Out it goes, and they just want Faded. They just want Faded out of this fight entirely. But every resource in the world going the way of Faded, it draws out the fight, and Bay State are able to find a little more longevity in the back end of this as Cave starts to find Frag, Depresso, and Alone, both with the glowing wall of confusion in place. Depresso survives through that. It's both Maze off the table as the Symmetry start to do work. Donnie coming back in with the self-destruct, but it's 99 to 60% here. Savannah College need the numbers, they need the frags, they need the presence, and it's just not there. Bay State have the numbers, they found the frags, they found the kills, they found the never say die attitude. And Bay State win out. They are your ECAC Spring 2022 Grand Champions.
Play of the game.
In the end, it was not enough of a recovery from Savannah College. They could not keep up with the pace of play of Bay State. Russell will get a nice little flick there. But in the end, yep, Bay State College are your grand champions here. This is a nice flick.
Oh yeah, beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. All again, I don't want to lean on it too heavily, but like the DPS lineup for Bay State in particular have put up a phenomenal showing, and that highlight was a nice way to cap that off here for them.
And I mean, a hearty congratulations to Bay State College. Not to be too far behind, though. Savannah College, I mean, second place, not something to scoff at in any sense of the word. But again, in your first place position, Bay State College, they make their run through to get the victory here. And after map number 1, you had to feel that it was theirs for the taking. They really stepped up and performed quite well as they complete the 4-1 scoreline here.
Yeah, I think it's important to say here for Savannah College of Art and Design that there were moments and flashes of absolute genius, of genuine top-tier performance from them, but it just wasn't as consistent as Bay State, and Bay State just seemed to have their number the entire game. Long but congratulations in as dramatic a fashion as we can manage it here at ECAC for Bay State. A beautiful performance on the back of some other really fantastic successes. And that brings us, LaFawn, right to almost the very end of not just this match, not just this broadcast, but potentially this season. We're going to go get an interview lined up with our winning team, Bay State, and we'll join you in a couple of minutes when we're ready with that. Welcome back, everybody. One final interview to round out the ECAC season, and joining us from Bay State is the wonderful Neb. Neb, welcome to the broadcast. Oh, I love it. I love the headband. I love the glasses.
I keep it classy.
I was gonna ask how you're feeling on the back of that win, but I can tell from looking at you that you're feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, you know, I'm feeling relaxed. Another day in the books. Another day down, another championship. You know me.
Oh man!
I mean, what can you say to that? Really,
it's a classic. Then we've had you on the interview bracket quite a few times, but just give me your favorite moment through the season because you guys have had a lot of them.
I don't know that match. I was set out on Havana and I was just listening to the comms. I couldn't stop laughing because Cabe just makes random noises the whole time. So I was just dying laughing, and you couldn't hear anyone comms because it was all laughter.
You're going to have to give us a PG-13 appropriate one of those noises so we know what you're talking about.
Only Cabe can do it. Only Cabe can do it.
Okay, fine. All right, well, next time, bring Cabe with you so we can get that preview.
I will.
Cool. So, another season of ECAC done. You won the Boston Collegiate Cup that happened this weekend. What's next for Bay State?
We have a LAN in Atlanta this week for the Commissioner's Cup, CECC. So if you're coming out, we'll see you there. My mom will be there. Shout out my mom.
Oh, and man, I wish I'd known. I would have made the trip.
Hey, I mean, my mom is a lovely lady, but she's taken.
Okay,
so, yeah, we'll be there, and then, I don't know, you'll see us in Overwatch too.
Happy to hear it.
Well, there you go. I mean, listen, nothing but the red carpet for this point out for you, Neb, and Bay State College. Any shout-outs you want to give?
Shout out my mom.
Shout out Neb's mom.
My stepdad, Jack, my grandpa. Shout out my league team for making top 8 today, going to LA. And then our Smash team won NACE, so shout out them.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
A program
Success is all around for Bay State. That's super cool. Neb, genuinely always a pleasure to have you on the broadcast. We'll let you go and enjoy that win with the rest of your team. And hopefully we'll see you next season.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Everybody else, thank you as always for joining us here at ECAC. I think you'll agree, a fantastic way to end out this season. LaFon, any words you'd like to leave people with at the closing of ECAC Spring 2022?
I mean, shout out to Neb. Guy's an absolute treasure. Every time he's on the interview bracket, I'm always laughing. He's such a funny guy. And a shout out to everyone who performed this season. Some pretty fantastic Overwatch here at ECAC. It's been an absolute pleasure as always, Phil. And again, thanks for watching.
Yeah. Shout out, of course, to all the wonderful people here behind the scenes that let us bring the footage from the players to us, to you out on the broadcast. Shout out to LaFon for casting with me. Shout out to Neb. Shout out to Neb's mum. And we'll hopefully catch you all next season for more ECAC.
That is comfortable.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broken, I couldn't acquire 2 cents, and now I got 2 wrists. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big.